everyone. I'd like to call to order our January 6, 2025 Bedford Board of Education Organization meeting.
Good evening. Happy New Year.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Boynton,
Here.
Ms. Macklin,
Here.
Mr. Akins,
Here.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Present.
Ms. Carter.
Here.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Visitors are always welcome at our board meetings. If you wish to address the board, please complete the form provided upon arrival at the meeting and give it to the treasurer. Oral presentations are limited to 3 minutes each. So that the meeting may proceed uninterrupted, please silence all electronic devices.
Thank you, Ms. Carter. First, let me just say Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. On our agenda is item number 2.01, which is acknowledgement of our goals. You may read those at your leisure. Item number 3 is, which is our protocol for our first organizational meeting of the year, which is 3.01, which the nomination for office of president, and which will be followed by nomination for the office of vice president. So at this time, I first would like to say that any member may nominate themselves or any other member, and the nominations will not require a second. So if at this time, is it, they go order? Do I have to ask for nomination? Okay, so at this time, the floor is open for nomination for president of the Bedford Board of Education.
I nominate Andrew Lee Carter for president.
I nominate myself for president.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, could I have a second to close the nominations for president?
Second to close.
Since there was 2 members nominated, I'm gonna go through roll call and just throw out the member's name that you are voting for. Ms. Boynton,
Angela Carter,
Ms. Macklin,
Angela Carter.
Mr. Akins,
Anthony Akins.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Anthony Akins.
and Ms. Carter.
Angela Carter.
Actually, Carter wants to do 2.
thank you. Item number 3.02. The floor is now open for nominations for office of vice president for the Bedford Board of Education. Oh, was I supposed to do a motion to approve the nomination before I move on to this one? Sorry, I was supposed to.
Oh, yes, we do.
I'm sorry, retract. We'll go back to 3.01. I do need a motion to approve the appointment of Ms. Carter for president of the Bedford Board of Education.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Ms. Carter,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
No.
Ms. Turner Birch,
No.
and Ms. Boynton.
Yes. Motion passes 3-2. Next is 3.02. Now the floor is open for nominations for vice president for the Bedford Board of Education.
I nominate Sharon Macklin.
I nominate myself, Daniel Turner Birch.
All right. Could I have a second to close the nominations, please?
Second.
Okay, same deal. Ms. Boynton,
Sharon Macklin, please.
Ms. Macklin,
Sharon Macklin.
Mr. Akins,
Danielle Turner Birch.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Myself, Danielle Turner Birch.
and Ms. Carter.
Sharon Macklin.
Michael Williams, 32.
Thank you. Could I have a motion to approve the appointment of Sharon Macklin for Vice President for the Bedford Board of Education?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Carter,
Yes.
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
No.
Ms. Turner Birch,
No.
Ms. Macklin.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-2. Thank you, Board. And now we will have the oath of office for the new elected Bedford Board of Education School Board President.
Please raise your right hand. Do you, Angela Carter, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and you will faithfully and impartially perform the duties of your office as President of the Board of Education of the Bedford City School District to the best of your ability, in accordance with the laws now in effect and hereafter to be enacted during your continuance in said office and until your successor is elected and qualified?
I do.
You can't change it out. Item number 3.04. The oath of office for the newly elected school board vice president, Mrs. Sharon Macklin.
Please raise your right hand. Do you, Sharon Macklin, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that you will faithfully and impartially perform the duties of your office as Vice President of the Board of Education of the Bedford City School District to the best of your ability, in accordance with the laws now in effect and hereafter to be enacted during your continuance in said office until your successor is elected and qualified?
Sorry for the difference. My voice is-
Congratulations to the two. And item number 3.05 is recognition of the outgoing president.
I would like to recognize Ms. Eva Boynton.
All right, thank you. Well, I just want to say it's been a pleasure serving as your president. I've enjoyed working, of course, with all of you. I will still be on the board, so it doesn't matter where I'm seated. I still support what's best for our children in the Bedford City School District. So thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity that I had being the president for the last, I don't even know how many years. But congratulations to you, Mrs. Carter, and just know that I'm here to support you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Aww.
On behalf of Superintendent Dr. Johnson, the executive team, want to present you these roses for all your dedication and hard work.
Thank you. next is item number 4.01. And board, we need to have a motion to approve the resolution appointing the liaisons, and I hope you've taken a look at them. I don't know if you want to continue with the assignments that you already have. First one, A, is the, I don't know if anybody wants to change or want to do something else, or you want to keep the same roles that we had before. The legislative liaison to the Ohio Boards of Association, OSBA, Student Achievement to OSBA, Ohio School Boards Association Annual Conference Delegate, and Ohio School Board Association Annual Conference Alternate, and the Becker City Schools Foundation. Those are the areas that we need to cover with a board member. We already have, if you don't remember your role, I hope you do. I would actually like to continue in the Student Achievement Liaison to OSBA.
I can stay the delegate, I don't mind that.
I'll continue being legislative liaison.
Are you still foundation?
I'll continue foundation.
I'll continue whatever I was on before. Alternate.
All right then. Well, can I have a motion to approve the resolution appointing the liaison?
Motion to approve resolution appointing liaisons.
Second.
Ms. Carter,
Yes.
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Ms. Turnbush.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, board. And now, 4.03. I mean, 4.02. I'm sorry. It is time for us to switch chairs.
Different sitting over here. Perfect, okay. We are on to 4.03, resolutions, 2025-8 through 2025-37, and exhibits 8 through 37. These are the organizational meeting resolutions. Anybody want to do roll call first? Motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second. Second.
Motion to approve by Mrs. Macklin, seconded by Mrs. Boynton. Sorry, discussion? Okay, discussions? No? Sorry, roll call please. Okay, hold on.
There's a question. Just one
Macklin,
Yes.
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Ms. Carter.
Yes. Thank you, board, 5-0. 4.04, approval of resolution number 2025-38, setting of dates, times, and places of meetings of the Board of Education for calendar year 2025 is shown below, and also available on the district's website. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve the resolutions 2024-2 as presented.
Second.
It has been moved by Mrs. Boynton and seconded by Mrs. Macklin, excuse me, to approve. That's the wrong meeting, to approve the board's meeting schedule. Any questions?
I have a question. There's a meeting on June 18th, and that's a Wednesday. Is that,
Juneteenth is the 19th.
correct? Okay, so that's why we're changing it for that.
Thank you for that question. Any additional? Roll call, please. Oh, wait,
Yes,
another?
there's another, August, wait, never mind.
Roll call.
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Ms. Carter.
Yes. Motion passes 5-1. Thank you, board. I'm sorry, 5-0. 4.05, approval of public records designee. So approval of a resolution appointing Taylor Frederick, CFO-treasurer, to be the person designated to receive training for all board members, as required by House Bill number 9, to receive 3 hours of training about public records during every term of office. The elected official may designate someone to receive this training. Motion to approve?
Motion to appoint Mr. Friedrich as our public records designee.
Second.
It's been motioned by Mrs. Boynton and seconded by Mrs. Turner Birch. Any questions, concerns, comments?
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Ms. Carter.
Yes. Thank you. Motion passes 5-0. Alrighty, we are done with our organizational meeting, and we will now be moving to our
Method joining.
motion to adjourn organizational meeting.
Before the motion to adjourn, I had a question because I don't see it on here, and I know it's something that we should do, was the committees, are not on here.
What committees?
So there's committees that the board should have and be a portion of, one including is the policy committee. There's finance committee, there's committees that the board
That's
should
on the-
have.
that's
at
on the next
beginning.
meeting.
Okay.
Yes.
Typically that's done in organizational meetings. I just wanted to clarify. So it's on for the regular meeting?
Yeah, because this sheet that went by the same agenda
That we
that
had
we had
last year.
last year.
Okay.
All right, motion to adjourn organizational meeting.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Mrs. Boynton and seconded by Mrs. Macklin.
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Ms. Carter.
Yes. Thank you, 5-0. That concludes the organizational meeting. We will now move into our Board of Education regular meeting. All right. We don't have to do call to order and all of that again, do we have to, think? We do? All righty.
I follow everything.
We now welcome you to our Bedford Board of Education regular meeting today on January 6, 2025. Call to order.
Ms. Boynton,
Here.
Ms. Macklin,
Here.
Mr. Akins,
Here.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Present.
Ms. Carter.
Here. Thank you. Let's please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay. 2.01 is our one plan goals. You can read those at your leisure. Next is 3.01, minutes from December 10th, 2024. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from December 10th, 2024, our regular board meeting. That was rescheduled due to the calamity day.
Can I have a second?
Second.
It was motioned by Mrs. Boynton and seconded by Mrs. Macklin that we approve the minutes from December 10th. Any questions, corrections? Roll call, please.
Yes. Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Ms. Carter.
Yes. Thank you, board. It's been passed 5-0. Next on our agenda is 4.01, audience participation. Do we have any? Okay. Next on our agenda is our consent agenda, 5.01. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve the consent agenda as it is presented.
Second.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Boynton and seconded by Mrs. Macklin that we approve the, motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Do we have any questions? Roll call?
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Ms. Carter.
Yes. Thank you, board. Motion passes 5-0. Do we have any people here?
Yeah, I was just asking Sam, one individual there on their way, but Sam, I didn't know if you wanna come up and talk about, that's for consent agenda.
Correct.
Okay, no, not yet.
We're moving to
Next
yours
one down,
now.
almost.
All right, we are now on the superintendent's report. I'm gonna pass it over to Dr. Brown.
Good evening, board president, vice president, and board members. This evening, I have 5 recommendations for your approval. Under 6.01, we ask of your approval for the replacement of the supervisor of instructional technology, Antoine Corbett. Under 6.02, we ask of your approval of the service contract for Avid. Should there be questions, Dr. Harrington is here to talk about that. Under 6.03, we ask of your approval of the CTE insurance. Under 6.04, we ask of your approval of the following field trip, and then I'll wait on 6.05.
Do you wanna, we'll take these individually. 6.0 on administrative personnel. Motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Mrs. Macklin, second by Mrs. Boynton. Do we have any questions? No? Motion, okay, roll call?
Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Ms. Carter.
Yes. Thank you, board.
Mr. Waters?
Mr. Walters, did you have something to say about Mr. Corbett?
Yes. come back and serve. And if any of you had the opportunity to work with him, he is so personable, he's so kind. He's a teacher, and he works with everyone. We were all extremely, if I may, Dr. Johnson, we were so impressed with his interview skills. He came in, he was dressed, he was very articulate, he was very knowledgeable. He talked about his plan and what ifs, had things happen, talked about his goals, his vision, what he would like to do with working with the superintendent as well as the board. So being an honor and privilege of being his principal, him graduating from Bedford High School, and his heart's desire is to serve our kids and our community. That came out so relevant in his interview. And then today in our first ELT meeting, it was very, very insightful, it was very helpful, very knowledgeable in what he wants to do and how he's contributing to the team. So proud to have another graduate, another Bearcat being a part of our team.
Thank you.
I'm sorry?
We hope he makes it.
Absolutely. We also to charge ourselves, so we're going to make sure. Oh, you tonight? Yeah.
Just tonight. I know he's going to make it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mr. Waters. One of the things that I think I would just share is at ELT, we talked about the importance of building capacity. I think this is a perfect example of that. That if one individual leaves a department, not everything should shut down. We should always be thinking about the next man up per se. And Paul was very insightful. Like, he shared with us before he left how much he appreciated Antoine and how much he felt he would be an asset to the district, and his eagerness to continue learning, and that he was definitely ready for such a position. And so when he shared that with Sam and I, we were like, wow, because previously we talked about, do we need to outsource? Like, what do we do? And I felt like he met that task among some other things before he left, which I think we are headed on that right path of doing that and just kind of growing our leaders. Thank you. Cannot wait to meet him here and shake his hand.
Good to hear that we have another Bedford graduate who's coming back home and being able to provide back to our district, so thank you. All right, 6.02, service contract. Yes. Yes. So this is our service contract with, is it Abbott Center for the funded title. If we could get a little bit of information on that for me, please, Dr. Harrington.
Board President Carter, Superintendent Dr. Johnson, Board of Education, thank you for allowing me to speak this afternoon. Happy New Year to everybody as well. So AVID stands for Advancement Via Individual Determination. The mission with the partnership with AVID would be to continue closing the opportunity gap and preparing all of our students for college and career readiness. I want to commend Dr. Threep and her department, because as we talk about career, we're moving in the right direction with our CTE programs. When we talk about college and academics, we want to continue exposing our kids to rigorous opportunities in the classroom, such as honors, AP, CCP. But we also want to do that with support. So what AVID does, it takes a student who may not traditionally have been exposed to these courses and places them in those courses with those supports through an AVID elective course or class, where they get the strategies and tutoring they need to support their development and growth. But before we do that, we also have to collaborate and work with our teachers so they're prepared to have the instructional strategies in their own classrooms to support the students as well. As we start this process, AVID doesn't just start with throwing students in without a plan and having a site team that goes and receives the professional development to understand what strategies are needed. I have here in front of me AVID's Wicker strategies, which stands for writing, inquiry, collaboration, organization, and reading. And all of those different things utilized within the classroom, moving into the AVID elective course once that cohort of students begins, and then hopefully as we transition, allowing our entire building to become AVIDized. That's my own word, I just made that up. I apologize. But making sure our entire building is Avidized. When we look at Avid, this focus would be for the high school, and we would really want to make sure we started with our 9th grade students cohort. So when we look at that and meeting with Principal Lewis and some of her staff, looking at students who are currently in the 7th grade. So as we look at those students, how can we start to support them in the middle school? So by the time they hit the 9th grade, they're prepared to enter into that cohort, and then our teachers are also prepared to start supporting them through the Avid strategies, and then again, exposing our entire staff through professional development that's ongoing.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Sounds like it's gonna be a very promising program to help our students continue to excel, so thank you. Any questions before he goes down?
We'll be utilizing the same staff we have, or they'll just be trained.
Correct, same staff. What'll eventually happen, it'll start this summer. We'll go through Summer Institute. Mrs. Lewis will identify her site team. Really what that is one individual from each content area, including world language, guidance counselor, assistant principal, and then also individuals from my office supporting that work from the district lens.
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion?
Motion to approve the service contract as it is presented.
Second. It's been motioned by Mrs. Boynton and seconded by Mrs. Macklin.
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Ms. Turner Bridge,
Yes.
Ms. Carter.
Yes. Thank you. Motion passes 5-0. Next is 6.03, CTE insurance.
Good evening, Board President Carter, Dr. Johnson, Vice President Macklin, and all the rest of the board. I just wanted to come up here and just explain, we did approve the CTE liability insurance in, I believe it was the November meeting, and it was for $3,100. When we finally got the paperwork completed, it went up to $9,800. We did call the insurance company. The $3,100 was just for 1 year. The $9,000 is for 3. So that will cover us for 3 years. We would not have to make another payment for 3 years instead of 1. So I had to bring that back to the board, to your attention, so that you knew, for one, that there was an increase and the reason for the increase.
Perfect. Thank you. Any questions while she's here?
I would like to know, how does this affect where we are financially?
This would be over 3 years, so we pay up front, but we won't have to make another payment for 3 years. And this is also coming out of our liability insurance, which we are canceling other POs to make room for this money.
Okay, and this is also out of general?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me be clear though, the $3,100 was out of CTE's budget. The remaining is coming out of general.
So the original 31 has already been paid?
Has already been paid.
So this is for an additional 3 months?
3 years.
I mean, not 3 months, 3 years.
Mhm.
An additional 3 years.
Additional 2 years.
Two.
Okay, so then it's not really,
So let me,
it's not really 98, it's less than that.
wait, the insurance is not in effect yet.
Got
The
it.
whole amount has to be paid, and that will be for 3 years.
Right.
But when we initially got the quote, it was for 1 year, so we were trying to hurry up so our kids can get out in the field, do hair, so we paid that $3,100. When we finished completing the rest of the paperwork, because we wanted to include nursing, because nursing goes out in the field and they do things, so we wanted all of our CTE programs covered, not just CAS. That's when we got that quote back for that additional amount, and it will be for 3 years.
So so the 3,100 came out of CTE.
Mm-hmm.
The additional 6730 will come out of general.
General fund.
What was the actual dollar amount? Is it 31?
The actual dollar amount is on it, it is $9,830 for 3
The
years.
original quote.
The original quote, I do not have in front of me, which I'm going by.
It was 31. It was 31 and some
31.
change now.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, because it's 98, and even if we take 31.50 cents, it wouldn't be 98, it would be 93 or 93-ish with some change, or 94. Whereas the additional $400 being quoted through it.
I'm not certain what you're asking.
So this quote is saying for 9,800, 98.35 or something like that?
Correct.
98.30. I'm wondering what that other one, dollar amount was, because if we do 3,100, or even if we did 31 and some change, it doesn't come out to 98, it would be like 9,300, or closer to 9,400.
So it was over 31. It was like 31.68 or something of that nature that we paid. But I can get that. I can definitely get the amount
It's on
too.
the previous exhibit,
Yes.
but I think what you're
Okay,
saying.
which one was that?
It was back in November.
November what?
I don't know.
I don't have that information, but I could definitely get that
Go
for
back to
you.
that previous exhibit.
I think what you're saying, the bottom line is that you would subtract whatever it was, and the remainder is what we need to pay.
Correct.
So the total amount is, for the contract is $98.30. So whatever it was in November, you subtract it from this. That would be the remainder cost. But the issue is, you voted on a contract just for the November, the smaller one. We have to bring it back to you because it's a change in the contract, because it was a one-year contract, now it's a 3-year contract.
And that covers all of our
It
CTE
covers more,
programs.
so if before it was just like. it was
So
just cost,
if
so
the
I just
nursing
needed this.
department goes out and they do blood pressure checks in senior citizen homes,
And I would like to say, this is a pay now, pay later. We don't have a choice. In having this, I will tell you that, it was my concern that we had never had this. So as a board, you have had, for I don't know how many years, CTE programs permitting these individuals to work on cars, to go out into nursing homes, and we were not covered. So I just want to thank our team, as well as TAD, for looking into this to ensure that we are doing things the right way under this leadership team.
I definitely see the value and importance of it, no doubt. Just making sure that everything is in alignment and that we're even being quoted properly is what my concern is. And I'm actually going back in November meetings and I don't see it.
again, I can get you the amount.
And I think
Actually-
we work with our official insurance
Yes.
brokers. It's not just us that's coming up with it, but this is the same insurance company that's covered all the other things that we.
And the initial contract, correct,
Yeah.
just covered the COS program. This one covers everyone, am I correct? So you
everybody.
probably will
Yes.
see a difference
So
in
the
the,
barbering company,
yes.
our barbering program.
Barbering, and like you said, all of us,
Yep.
this is covering
this
all of
covers
CTE.
all CTE instead of just one.
And that's actually a really good price for 3 years.
Well, it does include the money. It's-
Any other additional questions? Can I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the revised CTE insurance agreement. Second.
It's been motioned by Mrs. Boynton and seconded by Mrs. Macklin that we approve the revised CTE insurance agreement. Roll call.
Yes. Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes, with reservations.
Ms. Turner Birch,
I'm gonna say yes for the necessity of it, but I would still like to see those numbers. Because it still doesn't add up to me.
any numbers? Ms. Carter?
Yes. Passes 5-0, thank you. 6.04 is overnight field trip. Motion,
Motion to approve the overnight field trip as it is presented.
Second.
it has been moved by Mrs. Boynton and seconded by Mrs. Turner Birch that we approve the overnight field trip as presented. Do we have any questions, comments?
I would really like to see them go back to DC, honestly. That's my only reserve. Or Columbus. Something different.
Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes. Thank you. Motion passes 5-0. 6.05, discussion of superintendent treasurer committee representation. Excuse me.
Again, these are some committees that we've started over the past couple of years, that the district, it's part of an official that we have. And I also spoke with, the treasurer, and he also felt that it would be beneficial to continue with the finance committee that we tried to start. And so we were asking of you, I don't know if you need to say now who would like to, but we feel like it would be nice if sooner than later that we know who the individuals are. Down in the next section, you'll see that there are 2 to 3 meetings each year. And we typically try to meet at 5 o'clock or 5:15 right before a board meeting.
Would you all like to discuss this now, or on which committee you would like to be on?
So, just to go back to what I had brought up in the original meeting, because policy is not on here, because policy is something that the board should be doing, and so I see that policy is off of here.
It should be on there.
How,
That should be, you're right, that one should be on there. So there should be 6.
okay.
Because I think, we've always had those,
Mm-hmm,
but we had never voted on them.
right.
So I, in looking through other districts and their board agendas, at, typically how that is written. So that's why this is now added in for the first time. But you are correct that, if we could amend it and, add in 6, which would be policy. I think you were on policy, I believe.
Okay, so,
Policy and human resources.
oops. All right, so are we discussing this now? You want to, so you want to be on policy and?
Previously, I was on policy and human resources. However, I would like to remain on policy, and I think I might, go ahead and jump over to community engagement.
Okay. Thank you so much. And I will discuss this in just one moment. Okay, so I will, okay, you wanted to do communication? Okay. I will do HR and curriculum. Anybody else wants to state now or later?
Can, is it just one rep
2.
for each one?
Typically we had 2,
Is there a reason why I cannot be on policy?
because we need one more.
Okay.
So you want to be on policy
And curriculum.
and curriculum? Okay. All right, so we have building and grounds now. We need one for HR, communication, and finance.
I'll do HR and communications.
So, let me change from communications, and I'll go over to finance,
Okay.
since that one's not covered.
We have a second for finance.
So I'll go
People
to,
could be on more than
I'll go to
2.
finance and.
You can be on more than 2.
We just want to make sure they're all covered.
Of course.
Well, keep me on communication.
Okay.
So I'll send an email out just to make sure everybody what I have here, and then if we need to make any changes, we surely can. Okay, so,
Sure.
um,
Can I ask a question about the meetings? Even with finance, all of them will be right before.
Right, all of them be right before.
they're
They're
usually,
on the same day.
So it'll be the week before in between.
We typically
No.
set the dates, so we will send it out to you to see.
You said it's before the board meeting,
before
right?
the board
It's
meeting.
before-
Just before the meeting that occurs, the next
Yeah.
meeting that would occur.
Yes,
No.
like it,
That's what you're saying.
our meetings start at 6, it would be at 5 and 5:15.
So we the same day as the
It's the
regular.
same day,
Correct,
yes.
same day.
All of them will be held on the same day before the, that's
Not
what
all
the
of them.
same day.
They're gonna be different days, so finance is gonna be on
board
another
meeting
one,
days.
not all of them on the same day.
Gotcha, just the
They will be
board meeting
scheduled
days.
before our
Gotcha.
board meeting, correct.
We spread them out throughout the year so that, because we know you're also busy and have,
Thank you.
things to do and work, so.
Right, they're very difficult during the day
Yeah.
because we are working, so that's why I want to know if they're all scheduled at time. Oh, I can be on all of them.
Well, 5 o'clock is also can be difficult too, because that's right when folks are getting off work, unless they have like a job in the school where you're getting off earlier.
Not necessarily a job in school, any job, anybody's working 8 to 4:30, but, it's harder at 2 o'clock during the day as well. So I think that people that do are, because I think the attendance was very poor last year with people that had signed up for committees. And so I think that should be taken into consideration when you're stepping up to one of these committees, to make sure that everybody's flexible with that time and not just because of one person. So that's why I'm asking, is that the normal schedule that we're looking at, and those schedules can, maybe you have to be flexible for some of the members. But as long as there's a time out there for that, because it would be very hard for me if there's not a lot of communication with the rest of the team, for me to come at 1:30
Yeah.
because of my job. So, as long as we have some kind of time that's, would work for, all the members, and, and you think about that. See, I won't volunteer for a committee if I know I'm not gonna be there, just to say I'm on the committee.
And,
Well,
And
yeah,
I don't think the meeting should be just because of one person either,
Right.
being changed all the time, because this is what had talked about doing this particular meeting.
if I can say, I know that being on one last year, I know that the email was sent out early enough to let us know when it was gonna be scheduled. So, I'm gonna read it out loud so everybody can see it.
I still don't see it.
So everybody knows well in advance. So then that way, if you need to make any adjustments to your schedule, if possible. But I know for it being at 5 o'clock, it worked.
So, and I think we're okay with whatever time it is. The 5 o'clock time was suggested by previous board members, so that they wouldn't have to come on different days. But I think for us, like, we're here. So,
Right.
we can send that out, and again, communicate, these are the dates we're thinking about. And if you have a different time that you wanna suggest, I don't think that matters to us.
Okay.
All right, and then we had the question regarding the liability insurance. So the initial was $3,198, that was paid out of CTE. Can I confirm, that one was for COS by itself, and that was over 3 years? Or just 1 year?
Just 1 year.
Just the 1 year, and now we have coverage for all programs, which is a total of $9,830, which leaves the difference of $6,632 to come out of our general funds. Okay. And that's gonna cover us for 3 years.
3 years.
So did they add an additional $200 and some because now it's over all programs instead of just the one? Because if you just multiply it, it's $95.94. So
Yes.
they added additional $200 and something just for the coverage of all of them, instead of it just for that balance.
Right. I guess it started out with just one program. So So actually, it's like kind of more of a discount, because now we're having like, what, 14 programs for an additional 6,000. Well, before they were charging us just for, I think it's 1 or 2.
So the answer is yes.
Yes.
So
The answer is yes. That's the price for all the CTE programs for 3 years, and not just for one program for 1 year.
correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, just need that clarity, thank you.
Alrighty. We are now on to Treasurer's Report.
Thank you, Board President, Board Vice President, Board members, Dr. Johnson. Tonight in my Treasurer's Report, I have item 7.01, gifts and donations. And then item 7.02, the approval of the alternative tax budget.
Thank you. 7.01, we've got Giant Eagle and Kenyatta Johnson donating to youth basketball for the intramural program. Can I have a motion to approve gifts?
Motion to approve.
So who's, okay.
Mrs. Macklin.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Macklin and seconded by Mrs. Turner Birch to approve gifts and donations as presented. Do we have any questions, concerns, comments? No? Roll call?
Yes. Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Ms. Carter.
Yes. Thank you. Motion passed 5-0. Next is 7.02, approval of alternative tax budget. Can you discuss this just a little bit, or just a little explanation?
Yes. So this is a requirement by Cuyahoga County every year. We have to turn in a tax budget based on what our assumptions would be, best guess of our appropriations for the start of next fiscal year. So this was prepared by my predecessor and reviewed by me. Looking over what we know now, this is the best of our knowledge of what our budget would be for next year. This will be, when I turn in my final or permanent appropriations in June, it'll be a little more accurate than this, but this is the best of our knowledge at this point, and it's required by the county.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
It's been motioned by Mrs. Boynton and seconded by Sister Macklin. I'm sorry, Mrs. Macklin. Wrong meeting.
Sister.
You is my sister, sorry. Any questions? No. Roll call, please.
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Ms. Carter.
Yes. Thank you, board. Motion passes 5-0. We are now on to new business. We have second reading and approval of amended policy 1530. Have a motion. This is the evaluation of principals and other administrators.
Motion to approve. Second.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Macklin and seconded by Mrs. Boynton. Do we have any questions? Roll call, please.
Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Ms. Carter.
Yes. Motion's been approved 5-0. Any other new business that we want to discuss? No? Anything fun? Yeah, I do want to talk about that. So we did cancel the our community meeting, engagement meeting from this past weekend. We're gonna keep the one on February 1st. Unfortunately, we canceled or postponed due to the weather. So we will be meeting February 1st at Becker Heights Community Center. We will have GPD there. Did they confirm? Perfect. We will have GPD there to talk about the buildings and answer any questions that our community members may have.
Want to talk about the calendar? We're switching up the calendar. You want the work sessions in February.
Yes, so
There was a change in the, not the meetings, the meeting schedule. So, starting February, the first meeting, will be the work session, and the second meeting for the month will be our regular meeting. That will begin in February. So our next meeting, which is January 16th, will be a work session. The first meeting in February will also be a work session, and the second meeting in February will be from then on, will be our regular meeting.
Thank you.
I think you had a suggestion too about.
I did, so that was gonna be my next question. So I do have a question on how you all feel about moving our audience participation to the bottom or later in the meeting instead of at the beginning. We do have some people that come in and we're already past that point and they wanna discuss. So I was wondering if anyone was interested or how you feel about moving it.
So do it during
So
the board agenda? Like the new business?
I would say right
Like where
before
we
new
go.
business. Right before new business.
That's fine.
It's pretty late though in the agenda, but I don't have a problem with moving it. That's pretty late in the agenda for people. We would like to have people stay for the entire meeting, but if someone comes with
Right.
young kids, it may not be, that's for them, but I don't have a problem with
After the consent maybe?
it. Maybe
Maybe
after
after consent?
consent, yeah, I don't think they need to stay. So maybe so we're,
So definitely want to provide, the opportunity for our members to come in and have the opportunity. And I know, yes, they should be. But, so we're looking at what, around superintendent, right before superintendent report or after superintendent report?
Probably before.
before.
Okay, so before superintendent report, okay. So that will be changed on our agenda moving forward. Anything else?
I would like to, I think I brought it up right after the OSBA conference. I would like for, if the board is in agreement with this, to think about maybe adopting a school. I thought that was a very good thing. I heard a couple of schools a couple of districts talking about that. And I think it was especially Beechwood, where the board member adopts a school, and the school is not for us to go there and micromanage anything. It's for us to go there as a support. So we will attend their function because of our busy schedules. It is very hard sometimes for board members to be in attendance, and I know that the various schools are looking for us to be there. So if we adopt a school, we know that there's gonna be one person there to support what's going on. And also, as they were talking about, we're not, Sharon's favorite line was, we're not taking over the school, we're going there to support the school. So I want that to be known. If we adopt a school, we are going there to support the programs that they have put on. Maybe get a chance to actually meet, would help us with community engagement, some of the parents when we come for maybe a parent-teacher conference night or something like that. And then some school district went even farther with it. There was a community engagement with the principal and board member and the community members, parents. It was really, really nice but it just started first just adopting a school. So if we could think about schools that we would like to, you meet with the principal and see what's going on and where can I help out? Where can I support you at? Or my thing is, I didn't get out a lot in the school, so I know if I have one that I'm actually looking at what's going on at the school, I could probably commit a little bit better. So I do have a school that I would love to, and that would be Central. So I'm just saying that if everybody wants to do that, but I would like to support that particular school.
Okay. Thank you.
everybody's willing to do that. If not, I just thought it was a good idea. I can get more details because I am gonna be in contact with the board member. And I did meet with her, after the, session, the presentation. I also thought it was such a wonderful thing. They also, looked at the students and the, different cultures. And so there was cultural events too, that we may not even think about that came out of that. I just thought it was great, so I would love to see Bedford Board of Education do that.
Perfect. That would be nice to see. Anything else?
I just want to say Happy New Year to everyone. Hope 2025 brings in great blessings and opportunities and favor for everyone. As far as events for this month, it is School Board Appreciation Month. As always in January. It is also Career and Technical Education Month, so it's perfect that we had anything on the agenda to deal with career tech. And just for additional awareness, it is also National Blood Donor Month and Cervical Cancer Awareness Month, and as well as Eye Care Month. A lot of issues that could be within your body can also pose through your eyes, so make sure you get those eye exams as well.
I would just like to say one other thing. Thank you. I just want to acknowledge our councilwoman from Oakwood, Ms. Candace Hill. Thank you for coming out and seeing the great things that are happening in Bedford. But it's nice to see you.
And I want to say welcome to our new treasurer, first official meeting. Coming in hot. So thank you for definitely being willing to take on the challenge and coming into our district and helping us and being willing to go head first into it. So
Thank you, very excited to be here.
I think as Mrs. Turner Birch talked about, it is School Board Appreciation Month, so over the next couple weeks, there will be some things coming your way to show our appreciation. And I know that it's so much that you do that I think people don't really realize. So we definitely want to take that time to recognize you in the next couple weeks. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else before we adjourn? And I just want to say, before we leave, we do have to get a picture. I want to make sure I say that out loud because Gary wants to get a picture of us. He sent an email out before we leave. So that was today. He wanted a group picture today.
Next meeting?
Thank you. All right. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Just take motion to adjourn while they talk about pictures.
Second.
No.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Macklin and second by Mrs. Turnberg to adjourn. Roll call. I got it.
Okay. Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
and Ms. Carter.
Yes. Thank you all and have a wonderful evening.